Okay, thanks for having us here tonight. Every year in October we like to bring our dual language students here to see you and to meet you and for you to meet them. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Bilingual Advantage, which is our dual language program. And I wanted to briefly refresh your memory. We have 75 students who are now in 4K who 2 years ago couldn't access a full 4K program, so that's really exciting. We have 1,200 students who are in the kindergarten through 8th grade dual language program. And we have approximately 250 students who are in AP Spanish 5 or AP Spanish 6. Those students, consequently, are those students that you're going to be meeting tonight, are our high-achieving, linguistically talented youth. Yes. So I wanted to remind you a little bit about the personalized learning honeycomb that you have conveniently in your little drawer. Ooh. Yes. You can locate the center core honeycomb components. You'll see that one of them are customized pathways for students, and one is proficiency-based pathways for students in a deepening of learning. The dual language program, in its essence, because it not only supports bilingualism, but it supports biliteracy, or the opportunity to read, write, speak, and listen at high levels in both languages, offers students the opportunity for academic achievement, which is measured in both languages, in English and Spanish. And finally, supports the goal of multilingual and globally competent students, helps us to meet some of the criteria for a customized pathway for our students that is based on their proficiency and growth. This is an effective image here. On the left hand of the screen, you're going to see the kind of learner that we once valued. We wanted students that could do math, science, social studies, and English. Now we know that we need learners who are not only mastering the content, which you can't really see because of the image over it, but who are effective, and I wrote in there multilingual communicators. Our students are going to be communicating with engineers, scientists, and problem solvers from around the world. We want kids that are globally competent. We want innovators, problem solvers, and kids that are really self-directed. We want to change the dialogue around our students' bilingualism from a deficit and a disadvantage to an asset that is viewed as an advantage. The same characteristics are on the next slide with more specific connections to the honeycomb that you saw. We really view that the customized learning path for students is a path that is culturally responsive. So tonight you'll be hearing from students who are bringing Spanish from their homes and have developed through our programs a very high level of literacy, which is also culturally and linguistically responsive. And you also see students that have been fast-tracked through proficiency-based processes and have not had to sit through Spanish 1, 2, 3, 4, and have been placed at an AP Spanish 5 or beyond simply because of the proficiencies that they already brought to learning. So I want to remind you of our program and how it moves forward. As you know, we start out in the 4K with dual language, and that extends currently to 7th grade at Horning and Les Paul, and extends to 8th grade at Butler Middle School. All of our 8th grade students at all of our sites get pre-AP Spanish literature, which is preparatory for the AP track. And then as 9th graders, they go into placement in AP Spanish 5, Language and Culture, and I have 3 teachers here with me tonight who have taught that class, have taught these learners, and are here to talk also about their experience. And then we have our new course, which is our 10th grade AP Spanish 6, which is Spanish literature. We unfortunately only offer one section, so we can celebrate that section, but next year we will have 2 sections at South, 2 sections at North, and over time sections developing at West. This table, or this graph on the left, represents the advanced placement results of our Latino or Hispanic students in their Spanish AP Language and Literature exam last year. Excuse me, it was Language and Culture. The blue represents the 77% of our Hispanic students who took the AP test and scored a 4 or a 5. And you might remember that a 4 or a 5 is the highest score that you can possibly obtain on a test like that. The 22% which was actually just 3 students, scored a 3 on the Spanish AP Language and Culture test, but 100% are eligible for college credit at respective universities. So on the left, you can see in 2005, we had 9 Hispanic students take the AP Spanish test in 2015. Last year, we had 36 students take the test, and this year, 2017, we have 180 eligible students who are native Spanish-speaking, English language learning scholars. Celebration. So, next screen. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, that's the wrong screen. You can take that off. I just wanted to introduce to you tonight our linguistically talented students, teachers, and administrators. The first person I would like to introduce to you is Maria Myers, who is an AP Spanish 5, AP Spanish 6 teacher at South High School. She's currently translating, but she'll move over here. I would like to introduce to you Mary Rio, who is the AP Spanish 5 teacher at West High School. And I'd also like to introduce Sarai Monterrey, who is currently assigned as an ESL teacher who co-taught in Spanish 4 last year with a Spanish teacher and really made a great connection there. And then the students, I'd like to invite them up. We have Rachel Kane first from North High School. Valeria, also from North. Carla from West. Carlos from West. And Iwan from West? West, okay. And I'll have Maria come up here to do any translation. Some of our students are going to be presenting to you a variety of different topics and themes, but because of where those themes and topics are born in them and their identities, they may choose, because they are able to communicate that in Spanish. I also want to recognize here that we have padres de familia in the house, and we want to make sure that it's comprehensible to the families.
Oh, wonderful.
Gracias, padre, por haber venido. Hi. And talk loudly.
Welcome to each and every one of you. We're just delighted to have you and to have you share things with us that we don't know.
First, we are going to talk about the importance of becoming more than bilingual, but becoming biliterate in terms of like how it makes our identity, and how the dual language program has made my identity is when I came here from Mexico to 6th grade, this was the first time I was learning English, and so with the dual language, I was able to just comprehend both languages with ease, and it just opened up my mind to understand just different sides of the world.
When I was in kindergarten, my parents came from Mexico and I was their firstborn. So I went into kindergarten not knowing a single word in English. All I knew was Spanish, and I didn't speak from kindergarten until 3rd grade. And when I did speak, I could comprehend, I could speak, I could do everything as if nothing ever happened, but it was a challenge, and I think that sometimes we feel like we're kind of alone on things, and to have people that can help us, like Ms. Myers, just anybody in our community that can help us and is able to translate to help us get through school, I think that's a blessing to every student, and every student should have that, especially if they're coming from different countries and starting alone. And I think that it was a blessing to have that in my life, and so that's how my identity was made, from being bilingual.
I have quite a different story. So I went to Meadowbrook Elementary School, and there's not a whole bunch of diversity at Meadowbrook, at least when I went there. And then I went to Butler, and I saw a little bit more, and I took the 6 weeks courses. And then once I went into Spanish and actually learning it, it was still a lot of non-native speakers. And then last year, I had the opportunity in Spanish 4 that was the co-taught class with Senora Monterrey, and it was kind of overwhelming because we went from having Spanish that all of us were learning to having half of the students were bilingual and half of us were not. And it was where we literally had rows of students where it was one native speaker and one non-native speaker. And it was quite overwhelming at first because we went from a class where we were all struggling to where they had a clear advantage. At least that's how we thought, and we didn't think that we'd be able to succeed. But it turned out to be a wonderful experience because there are times where there would be a word like Valeria would know in Spanish and I wouldn't know it in English, or I would know it in English and not in Spanish, and we'd help each other and learning to work with each other and to get that the knowledge of like the culture and like where they come from, because we also learned a lot about each other's like past and like what makes us who we are. Was just an experience that I am so grateful for, and which is why I'm also continuing in 5 and in college as well.
Hi, I got my personal identity was in elementary school. I went to White Rock and it was like bilingual, but then when I went to Butler, it was just all English. It was kind of like a hard transition for me because we went from English to Spanish to just all English. And then when I went to North High School, freshman year, I took Spanish 3. It was a little bit hard because it was just kind of hard and difficult. But then when we went to Spanish 4 with Monterey, it was just a little bit easier because you had people that spoke English and people that spoke Spanish, and you could just like help each other out. And not just only you guys were partners, but you guys like we had a friendship in that class, and it was just like a wonderful experience for me. And yeah.
Para mí, para formar mi identidad personal, fue como un poco más diferente.
Her personal identity developed differently.
Porque cuando yo acabo de llegar aquí a Estados Unidos hace 2 años,
Arrived 2 years ago.
y fue una transacción, un cambio muy diferente porque me la pasé estudiando 14 años en puro español y después vine aquí y en 2 años tuve que aprender lo más que pude.
So she's saying her the transformation in trip was different. She spent 14 years in Spanish, and now she's been 2 years here studying as much English as she's been able to.
Y no sé, siento que las clases como de español ayudaron más porque yo pensé que al llegar aquí no iba a haber como ningún tipo de clase en español o algo que me pueda ayudar. Y eso fue lo que me ayudó.
She thought that the Spanish class were really helped her here. That her Spanish class were that's where what helped her to control her being here.
Did you say that she came here 2 years ago? Wow.
The next thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to use this gift of having both languages, how we're going to use it in our future in a professional way. I personally like computers, and something I want to learn is computer science, and I think that having Spanish and English, I'm going to be able to help, people that only speak Spanish. I'm going to be able to help them understand what this is in English and how programming works, and same with somebody that is trying to help a Spanish speaker, but he only knows English and he's trying to work with them. I can just connect them together and just make bridges with each other, and that's kind of what I want to make. Just build everyone together, and just everyone can succeed together.
Professionally, I'd actually like to pursue international business or something in the business field. And being bilingual, I think it opens many doors and
Absolutely.
a lot of bridges between different countries, between never know what you could find in those little clusters of people and clusters of countries and groups. So I feel like by applying my Spanish into there, or possibly even other languages, I could succeed very much in the business field.
So throughout the past 4 years, I'm very indecisive. I don't know what I want to do. I've thought about business, I've thought about psychology, I've thought about communications and like personal relations of like a nonprofit, because I know I want to help people, and or even being a lawyer. Like I'm as confused as I am. There's one thing that I know I want to do, or two things, and that is to help people and to be able to at least like have a minor in Spanish, because I would be limiting myself to only being able to help people who speak English. And whatever mode that I choose to be able to help people and to be able to pursue with my life, I know that being bilingual is something that's going to open so many doors, no matter what I go into. If it's business, being a lawyer, or personal relations, like literally any field can benefit from being bilingual, especially where we are. And if I do, travel is very important for me. So if I do get to be in a job that allows me to travel to different countries or to like Latin America, it's just something that will help me excel professionally.
I'm really undecided right now because I still have one more year to decide what I want to become. But for right now, I want to be like a translator at hospitals, because like when I was younger, I used to go like with my mom to doctor's appointments, like help translate, and I thought it was kind of cool because like I could understand English and Spanish and then talk to my mom, talk to the doctor. But at the same time, it was kind of difficult because like I didn't know what the doctor was trying to say, like words and stuff. I just thought it was really amazing that I could like understand what they were saying.
Meta para mí es ser doctora.
Be a doctor.
Y para eso la importancia de ser bilingüe como ayudar a muchas personas, no solo porque hay muchas personas inmigrantes que llegan aquí y no pueden hablar inglés, y hay muchas veces que llegas a un hospital y no hay traductores, tienes que batallar para saber lo que te están diciendo.
She would like to help many immigrants who come to this country who do not speak English. And she's saying sometimes there are not translators available. So as a doctor, she would like to know that and to be able to translate and guide through it and help them. Sometimes when translators, even they know the language, but they might not know everything about the language. So knowing everything about the language, it means that she will be able to translate correctly and appropriately, and then don't say the things that they're wrong.
Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is what it means for us students, what it means for us to be in these advanced placement classes. And I think, well, we all agreed that it's an honor to be in these advanced placement classes, and we couldn't have done it without the dual language program, because without the extra help from these programs, just helping us with both the languages, building up the two pillars, English and Spanish, strong structure, it kind of just built us up to be a strong person. And I really don't know how to repay the dual language program, but other than to just make life-changing choices with this gift and just impact the world in a positive way.
Once again, it is an honor to be recognized sitting here before you guys and explaining what we feel and how we're going to use this in the future. And I feel like being placed in these classes not only helps the community, but it also helps us. we're challenging ourselves, like even though we're very fluent in the language, we can speak it to you. We're learning how to read it, how to become masters in the language. And I think that that will carry on not only through our college, but again into our professions. That's something that we're eternally grateful for.
Another reason, I feel very proud to be like in AP Spanish 5 because I'll tell some of my friends that I'm in it, and like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? Like, I don't understand. And I find it very sad, and I almost pity the students that only take Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 or even 3, which are typically required for different colleges and universities, because they've already set the foundation. Like, you've already come so far only to regress, to lose it. And last year, I'm so grateful that we had last year with it was the dual taught class, because it really cemented that and really affirmed that I wanted to continue on through AP. Because, like Valeria said, we made friends with so many students, and I have all these bilingual students that I would not be friends with and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet. And the fact that Senior Monterey some days, the native speakers had to work on different things, like where to put accents on certain words when we were learning a new verb tense. Like, there'd be some days where we were separated, but then we'd work on different projects and share them with each other. And we'd get to teach each other the different things that we learned. And so being on the AP track and the fact that we have that opportunity to take it above and we can take it where we are teaching each other, like being able to share what I learned with the native speakers and have them give feedback is a lot more applicable to the real world, might you say, and we had that opportunity and would not have had that the same chance to be able to have the path continue had we not had everyone in it. Like, if it was all non-native speakers, I don't know that I'd want to continue, because it's hard, and when you don't have someone there to help you, it's very discouraging. But these guys totally make it worth it. So,
like Carlos said, I feel so honored that I could be recognized as a bilingual student. Like, if we wouldn't have that class last year, I don't think I would be in AP Spanish right now. Like, I don't know, I just feel so confident in last year's class. Like, I could raise my hand, I could just participate a lot. And I'm not like that type of person that just like, oh, raises her hand, because I'm like a really shy person. Yeah, and just, I think I would, yeah, I'm just really grateful.
Yo pienso que para ser una buena forma de ser reconocidos en esta clase es no solamente porque eres hispano o latino desde nacimiento, no solo por eso te vas a enfocar, oh, soy latino y voy a sacar toda la clase bien.
She's saying that one of the things that she likes about being recognized in here is not just because I'm Hispanic or Latino, and because I speak it, I'm just gonna take this grade. And that even though we speak the language that we are Latin, there is many words that we're still learning. There's a lot of vocabulary that we're still learning.
Estas clases nos están ayudando como a conocer todas esas palabras y muchas culturas que no se celebran en cada hispano.
Not only is it teaching us all of these words, but it's also teaching us about all these cultures that they are not always taught in every Hispanic country.
También nos ayudaría como para el colegio, porque como estaba platicando con usted, pues no puedes agarrar como un minor de español en el colegio, sino puedes enfocarte más y agarrar un major para agarrar tu major profesional que tú estás enfocado, que más quieres, pero sino también agarrar el de español para poder ser mejor en las dos cosas al mismo tiempo.
Then this is also preparing you for the university, because not only you can get a major in whatever the content area that you really want, but you can also get a major in the Spanish language and fulfill your both.
That we've invited here tonight, and also recognize that we have one administrator, a bilingual administrator from South High School, to let the teachers talk a little bit about what their experience has been and given the opportunity to teach kids that are high flyers. I also want you to know that because we do have one student that's choosing to speak in Spanish, her parents are here, but all of our students are totally bilingual, so you can address them in English or Spanish, and they'll answer you back.
Wow.
So I invite Ms. Monterrey and Ms. Rio and Ms. Myers to give their kind of description of what the experience has been like.
Hi, I'm Mary Real, and I am teaching AP Spanish at West High School. And I have a new fresh look in my classroom this year. Usually it was seniors, and now I have 6 or 7 freshmen in the class. And they have just brought it's just been much richer in terms of I have many, it's been a split where I have half non-Hispanic and half Spanish speakers, native Spanish speakers. And at the beginning of the year, the students had to talk about their goals for the class and for the year. And my non-Hispanic students got up and they presented, and they said one of the things is that they want to really overcome the obstacles of feeling intimidated. And when the Spanish speakers came up, it was just heartwarming. They said, we want to help those not feel so intimidated. And I just thought that was pretty impressive. The non-natives they're feeling that intimidation, but this, with having freshmen, they're able to see that they can do it. And Carlos coming in at 6th grade and now being able to work with seniors in the classroom is pretty amazing. The other thing is their confidence that they spoke about. I have the freshmen volunteering now as tutors for my lower, like level 2 or 3.
Wow. Wow, that's great.
Very impressive. Thank you.
So I'm Sarai Monterrey, and I feel just so proud of what we've been doing at North, and that I had the opportunity to co-teach Spanish board last year. And just like both girls said, you know, that they walked into a classroom, but they both had so many strengths that they could bring to the table and share with each other. Just that opportunity to learn from each other for students, it was just beautiful. And to see, like Rachel mentioned, not only the language piece, the cultural piece that they were able to learn. When we were in the waiting room back there, she was talking about a project that she recalled where students shared about their childhood. And she's like, wow, you know, to really learn about different students and just the different paths of life, you know, to her that was really eye-opening. And for Valeria, I've gotten to work with Valeria in many different classes because I'm an ELL teacher at North, so I worked with her in algebra, in English classes, and like she mentioned, in that Spanish 4 class that was co-taught, she was so confident, she would raise her hand, and she was always like, man, I know I can help students here. And just to see that, and for as a teacher to know, okay, that with Emily Hernandez, the teacher I co-taught with, to look at our students and say, okay, what are the needs of our students, and really personalize that learning for them. And to see that for a lot of the native Spanish speakers, we were able to focus on skills that were able to transfer into their English classes, because we were doing some things with, you know, just writing structures of an essay, just different things that transferred on. And so I feel really proud of the work, and it's just beautiful to hear them talk about, you know, how confident they were both in the class and what a neat learning experience it was for them. So, and I'm thankful to the administration at North for all the support, and to Dee Garcia for all the support to be able to do this. It's great.
I'm the guinea pig. AP Spanish 6 literature. One of the reasons why I love teaching this class is not only because I have 33 souls and it's a full room, which makes me very, very happy. It is also because I feel like it's a class that is really challenging for them in their own language. A lot of times when other students are grown in a bilingual setting, or even heritage students who speak it at home, a lot of times we don't see the capabilities of these kids, because in other classes, like Valeria or maybe Yvonne was saying before, they are shy. Because it's hard to speak up in something that you feel like the ugly duck, right? It's hard to come out of yourself. And I'm so glad to see that in my room, they are all coming out and they're all speaking and saying and analyzing text. So it's not only that they can speak the language, but they're truly biliterates, that they can defend a topic, that they can argue, that they can support it, that they can quote their text and defend their ideas. And I'm really hoping that that is transferring to their other AP classes, because I know that is the main core of AP, to be able to do that in college level. I think it also, to me, one of the things that I see the most in my class is how they discuss things. It's no longer they are just based on how this is written. It's about the idea and how am I going to support that idea. What am I going to say? And that's the discussion that we have more in AP. When they're looking at tests and they're looking at a good quote, but really support what I want to defend. So then the Spanish has become a tool, not the only thing we're teaching. So it's a tool to really open other doors. Talking to Yvonne, she was mentioning how in her other AP classes she's shy, but I can promise you in mine she's not. She speaks up loud and clear, and I hope that that transfer later on. Confidence is a big thing in students. We all suffer from confidence at some point, where we're all in a situation where we don't feel that we have the voice, or that it might be judged if we say something. We are offering these students the capability to look at their language, the one they grew up with or they study with, and look at it as an asset, as a tool to really fight in the world, to use it beyond our buildings in Waukesha. And I'm really, really proud of them, because it's hard work. It's not easy to do that. And it's also, I'm very, very proud of them for coming, because it's not easy to come to a room full of adults and speak your mind. So I think you did a great job.
Very much so.
Have questions for us?
Mr. Baumgart.
I have a couple comments more than questions, because I don't think I could ask a good question here. A couple comments about confidence and how you feel about yourselves. Number one, you just addressed a group of us that are jealous of you. We are. I am jealous. I mean, I just, for Carlos, you speak so clearly in English. And I think that's just phenomenal. Like I said, I'm jealous. The other thing is, two things. One is Rachel and Valeria talked about your seeking out a career, and don't panic. I think you're looking at people that have changed careers over their terms of our life more than once. So, but pick out something that you find that you would really love to do. I mean, it's more important that you love the job than it is that it's making a lot of money or something. Yeah. You know, you've heard that before, but anyway, it's true. And the last thing, a couple of you commented on your pride and how could you repay the district or the teachers or whatever you want to call it. Think of this, you've got the tools to repay us by going out there and being an advocate of this program in Waukesha. I mean, there's an awful lot of people out there that do not understand how good this district is and the variety of programs and the strength of the programs that we have to present to you children. You can help with that by letting people know that this program has helped you shape your identity, understand other people, given you the confidence to work with each other, and you know, and like I said, make us jealous. So go out there and be an advocate for us, would you please? Yes. Thank you.
Ms. Renchick.
Thank you. I have a few things. So, Carla, maybe this is for you. I noticed yours first. The South AP/West High School. So she attends West, but she drives over to South to take the AP class. How does that work?
I mentioned Carla and a few of my students come every morning bright and early. They take buses. Some of them take rides. Some of them catch a ride with a friend. Some of them even, I have heard, they have walked back to their own buildings.
Wow.
They want to be in this class. And they are coming every morning bright and early and ready to work.
Wow.
So it's very impressive.
Because
Very.
West does not have the AP yet?
Not
We have
AP6.
AP5.
Oh, okay.
But not AP6.
That's the only class in the
Okay.
district.
So, so one after 5 they can take 6. But again, guinea pig.
And I think that shows the trajectory has allowed them to move at an advance, to be able to take 6 before they would only reach 5 because they started.
Those of you that are coming from West, like specifically Carla, how did you make the decision to leave your high school to go all the way across town and then to go back to West? Commitment, fire, passion, achievement.
Carla, you shouldn't have to take gym class for like a month.
Yes.
Carlos, did you speak any English when you came?
Just very little.
Wow. Okay. Yvonne, oh, I thought I was going to try to.
I would have thought you were a native English speaker.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yvonne, when you came, what was your pathway? Did you go to Banting? What was your pathway from kindergarten when you came?
I actually went Saratoga, and then I went higher than Saratoga, and I think I went back to higher, and then back to Saratoga. I felt more confident there, and so I knew a lot more people, and I made my first friend there. That like we communicated through sign language, but we communicated somehow. And so
So was that dual language or no? None of that was.
I don't think so. No,
You
I
were
don't
just
think so.
in a
I just
regular
did it
school.
by myself.
No. Yvonne just assisted the higher level classes of Spanish. So that's another thing that as a district we can be very proud of. We have students who come from these bilingual programs who are strengthened both ways. And we also have a lot of heritage students who are Spanish speakers at home, and they have not been in the bilingual program for many different reasons, right? But they have come to higher levels of Spanish. We cannot put them, and we should never put them in a level 1 that when they can speak fluently to a teacher.
Right.
So we are now able to offer higher levels of Spanish in which these kids go right away into 4, like Valeria and Rachel, and they are communicating and building both languages, their Spanish and they're building their English and their confidence and their work. But we're also able to offer 5 where they continue with that and analyzing and doing things, or 6 and teach them literature. I have students right now who are 11th graders who started with me 3 years ago in Spanish 3. They have never taken an Spanish class. And they just took it because a friend told them it might be fun. And they thought, did I speak the language, right? And they came to my classroom and they were intimidated at times because their writing did not follow their speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So we worked through that. And then in Spanish 4, they worked through that again. So they built their Spanish on writing and their capacity of writers. Now, right now, they are in 6 with me. They skipped whole class. Right? Because in 4 we were like, you really don't belong in 4 either. You build so much, we move you to 5 AP. And they got those wonderful scores you saw. So then they keep moving. These kids are also part of our district. And now we have classes who challenge them and classes who support them and teach them this critical thinking and analysis and support in a language that they're familiar with. And now they can they can move to another AP class. They can see themselves successful in other AP classes. And that's something that district-wide we need more, right? More of this variety of students in our AP classes. And I think that is something that we should be really, really proud of, because I worked in another district before where this was never an option. And as a Hispanic, I feel sorry that that was the case, and so proud to work here and say out loud, my students have that choice.
It's wonderful.
Do you have Jaden write a check in your class? I'm hoping so. Rachel and Valeria. I know I said that not as beautiful as you guys do. So when you were put together, then you probably became friends, and you might not have had you not had that opportunity. Yeah. And then when you are not in class together, do you keep each other accountable? Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak English? Or do you just go back to what's easiest?
Well, I feel like definitely we, through like and a lot of the different people that I've seen, we, like a lot of people that you see outside of class, like especially right after class, people like still be speaking Spanish because like you're still in that Spanish mode. And it's hard because I feel like even in class, like a lot of people, unless, like even like Valeria and other people like her, like unless they had just come from a different country, a lot of people tend to go back into English when we're in the classroom. But I definitely feel like we've held each other accountable. One day in class, I know it's not quite here, but in class one day last year we had a party and we had to speak in all Spanish. And if you spoke in English, you'd had to go to like the timeout center, like you couldn't speak, you couldn't eat, you couldn't participate. And I'm pretty sure only non-native speakers went in there. Or no, only native speakers went in there. Like all the non-natives, like we were.
I was there like more than half of the time.
And then one thing I wanted to tell you, I have a stay-at-home mom friend, and she she has her kids at home, but she is on call for Children's Hospital, the police department, and Waukesha Hospital to be a translator. But she can stay home with her kids, and when they call her, she just pops in, but she just brings the kids along, and they sit there with their iPad. She does her job, and she goes. So there's so many things for you to do, like you said. I'm so excited for all of you. Welcome, and welcome to your parents.
Would you like to introduce your parents if you have them here tonight? We'd love to meet them. Whose parents are here?
Carlos.
My mom, Josefina.
Welcome, welcome.
He goes to Lesbo, and his name is Carlo.
Thank you, and welcome. Thank you for being here.
And my sister Nancy Mendez.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Well, I'd like to tell you something before you go. About 100 years ago, which was what, 1916 and before, there was a great immigration of Europeans to the United States. They were Germans and Polish and Italians and Sicilians and French were all coming to the United States for jobs and for what they thought was a better life. When they got here, they were real surprised because they were sequestered in neighborhoods by nationality. And the different nationalities did not get together. The Irish lived over here. And the Italians lived in what is now the Third Ward, where there's Summerfest, etc. But they were by neighborhoods. And their children, which were my parents, were ashamed that their parents spoke a foreign language. They wanted to be Americans, and they gave up their foreign language, I'm sorry to say. So therefore, when I came around, my grandma and grandpa still spoke foreign language, but I didn't understand, and no one made any effort to try to teach us. And I'm sorry for that. I'm so sorry for that. Your lives are so enriched because you speak 2 languages. This is wonderful. You're starting a whole new trend in the United States, an appreciation of bilingualism that didn't exist when the Europeans immigrated. And for that, I am so proud of you. And I envy you because I wish I would have had that from my family. So congratulations. You're an incredible group of young people who are going to continue to do great things for our country in 2 languages. Mr. Dietz.
I just want to congratulate all of you on your personal successes. I heard great things tonight from each and every one of you, and I'm sure it hasn't been easy along the way, as we witnessed just from your examples tonight. And you probably never thought you'd be speaking to the Board of Education. So, what a great bright lights. The one quick thing, if any of you would have any recommendations to improve the program, or anything you'd like us as a district to consider, I would be interested in hearing what that would be. And that would be from staff or students.
Well, before you leave, I'd like to thank your teachers. They're marvelous people, how they have inspired you and have helped you demonstrate that passion, because it's passion that helps us to be successful. And I'd like to thank Dee Garcia for improving our program and making it so strong and doing things in Waukesha we didn't know. But because of you people, we have a community that respects and appreciates bilingualism. So thank you. Thank you for that.
And then also, like you said, a recommendation. I think a huge push is that a lot of people, like, language is pushed because it looks good. A lot of my friends is pushed like, oh, take Spanish, take French, because like you need it for college, you can get the retro credits. Like, it's all very like for personal like opportunity with like college and stuff. If we push more of like what it can actually do for you as a person, like just the bigger picture, I feel like if it was pushed more, I wish I had gotten that earlier, because I did get that. Like last year it was so eye-opening, as we've said so many times, but I wish that had been pushed from the younger age, showing that the non-native speakers, how important it is, how much we take for granted, the fact that we can speak out in every class. Whereas when I come to Spanish, even though, like, especially last year, I wasn't quite sure when to raise my hand, I wasn't confident as I usually am, that it's okay, and like that's what other people have to experience all the time. And that I wish it was pushed more, that it's gonna make so much better. Not just this is going to open up a door for you in college. It's that like pushing for the profession and for just your awareness. And like, if we could just do that and have a higher understanding of that, I feel like it would make it so much better.
And think how you enrich our community.
And Rachel, you're already doing that, so continue the good work, and all of you are. So keep it up. Great job.
Do you all read, write, and speak English and Spanish? Wow. I'm sure, Carlos, that if I went to Mexico, and I've been there several times and I love your country, but I know that in 2 years I could never speak Spanish like you speak English.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.